Hello, yogis. Welcome. My name is Stevie. It's so nice to practice with you today. We have a nice hip flow today. So we're going to open the hips. We'll get into the low back as well. 2 blocks can be really nice. If you've got them, a blanket can be nice to sit on if that feels good to you. Elevating the hips to help the knees drop down is always really nice. So if you do have a folded blanket, maybe sit up on that. And from that seat, make yourself nice and tall, and we'll begin with our breath practice. So let your hands rest gently on your thighs. Take notice of how you're feeling. How does your physical body feel? How are you showing up mentally in your practice? What's the quality of your breath as it travels in and out of your body? Just notice that for a moment. As you notice the breath coming and going, see if on your next inhale, you can draw that breath in and down across the back of the spine until it roots down with your sit bones onto the mat. And then the exhale is going to travel out and up, traveling across the front side of your body, giving you lift and lightness. So it's this beautiful circle in and down across the back of the body, out and up, traveling across the front of the body. Just breathe like that on your own for a couple rounds. Remembering that inhale roots you, grounds you, brings you into the moment. And the exhale gives you lightness and a little bit of lift. One more round and then return to your natural breathing pattern. From here, we're going to blink the eyes open and roll over our shins, coming into a tabletop position. From tabletop, we're going to bring the toes to touch and the knees are coming as wide as the mat. Draw the hips back to child's pose. Rest for a minute. Let the head root. Let the arms reach nice and long. Feel the spaciousness of your low back and that compression at the hips. And again, taking notice of your breath. And from here, press into the hands, rise up into tabletop, and then let your hips continue to come forward into a cobra pose. So the hips drop down, the pelvis drops down, the arms are nice and strong, and the heart is shining through. Exhale, take it back to child's pose. So the hips go back. This is our little flow here on the ground. Inhale, come forward, hips descend towards the mat, heart shines through cobra. And child's pose on the exhale. Couple more just like that. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, child's pose. Rise up onto hands and knees, tabletop position. From here, we're going to draw these massive circles in the hip. So your knee is actually guiding the movement. So your knee comes up, out behind you, and then through under the body. And we're just greasing up that hip joint. It feels really good. And then reverse your circles. So under the body, back behind you, knee out. And then back under the body. And then set that knee down. Just pause here for a moment. Take notice of that tingling sensation in the hip. If your wrists are getting really tired, come up onto your fists for a minute. Let everything settle in that hip. And then we take it to the other side. So the left knee is coming out and around under the body, out to the left, back behind you, under the body. Big circles. Lubricating the hip joint. And then reverse. And set it down. Again, take notice. Notice that tingling, maybe some warmth. It's kind of an effervescent feeling through the hip. Tuck your toes, send your hips up and back for downward facing dog. And we're going to pedal out our dog, but with slow, intentional movement. So take a deep bend in the right knee. The left leg becomes super, super long. And then take it to the other side. Nice deep bend in the left knee. Right leg becomes long. Moving slowly like this. Bend the right knee. Bend the left. And right. And left. Drop both heels down towards the mat. You can keep a nice bend in your knees. Look up between your hands and tiptoe your way to the top of the mat. Find a nice forward fold. Hanging through center, again, keeping a bend in your knees if you need. Grab opposite elbows, add a little sway. And you'll notice this firing up the hamstrings. The low back. Let everything hang and be easy. Still your momentum, hang through center. Bring your hands to your shins, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. 2 more like that. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold over the legs. 1 more, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees and rise up, stand tall. Reach up, palms touch, exhale, hands to the hearts. We're going to work our way through a couple rounds of sun salutation C, and that opens the front of these thighs, front of the hips. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees and look forward, step your right foot back and drop that back knee. Inhale, reach your arms way up to the sky. Exhale, release your hands, frame that front foot. Step your front foot back to meet your back leg into plank pose. Drop your knees down, drop the chest down, drop the chin down, and then slither through to that cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath. Send it out. Inhale your right leg high, bend your knee and open your hip. So the hips are stacked. Level out the hips and step your right foot up to the top of your mat. Drop your back knee, that's your left knee. Inhale, reach up, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands come down to the mat. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, find the mat, elbows draw back. And then slither through. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths here, breathing in. Out. In. Out. In. And out. Tiptoe your way up to the top of the mat. Finding your forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, take your arms wide, reach up. Palms touch, exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold, plant the hands, step your left foot back, drop your back knee, reach up, Anjaneyasana, the hips come forward. Exhale, release the hands to the mat. Inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin to the mat. Inhale, slither forward, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath, breathing in, breathing out. Inhale the left leg up and back. Bend your knee and open the hip. Feel that length. Level out the hips and step your left foot to the top of the mat. Drop your back knee. That's the right knee this time. Inhale, reach your arms up for Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Step it back, plank. Knees, chest, chin lower to the mat. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. And enjoy 3 solid rounds of breath. You're breathing in, breathing out. Hips are high, the chest is pressing towards the thighs. The thighs press towards the back of the room. Shake your head out, yes and no. Let everything fall away right off the shoulders, empty out the head. Look up between your hands, tiptoe all the way to the top of the mat. Fold in. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach up, rise up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Bend your knees, step the right foot back. So we're dropping the back knee, coming back into that Anjaneyasana. You don't want to sink in too deep across the front of that hip. Staying up a little bit higher here, and we're going to add some breath into the practice. So, nice generous bend through the front knee. Inhale, reach your arms straight up overhead. With your exhale, let the left hand come down. We're going to swap the arms here with breath. So, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Leave the right arm where it is. Inhale the left arm up. Reach, draw the hips forward a little bit more. And then release your hands down to the mat. Lift your back knee up off the mat. Get a little bit bouncy here, a little generous rock. And then pop your way up to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise up, root through the feet, gather up, palms touch. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, nice swan dive forward. Fingertips find the mat. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, fold. Bend the knees, step the left foot back. Find that low lunge. So don't work too deep into it where it's hard to stay while we're doing that breathing arm march. Just come towards the edge, not to the edge. Inhale, reach the arms straight up overhead. Exhale, let that right hand come down. Inhale, switch. Exhale, switch. Big, robust breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Left arm stays up. Inhale the right arm up. Reach, draw the hips forward a little more. And then exhale, release the hands to the mat. Tuck that back toe, lift the knee, rock back and forth just a little bit. And then we're actually going to plant the hands and step it back to downward facing dog. Lengthen out the legs. Let the joints strain out, the knees, the hips. The whole backs of the legs. Beautiful. Look between your hands, tiptoe your way up to the top of the mat. Fold in. Inhale, half lift, lift, reach to the crown of the head and exhale, fold. Root through the feet and rise up, reach up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, look forward, step your right foot back, and then we're walking the hands all the way to the right. Parallel the feet. They're nice and wide, slightly pigeon-toed. And we're coming up on our fingertips. And we'll walk the hands forward. So in this like really wide-legged downward facing dog, high up on the fingertips, draw the hips back. Finding lots of length here. Draw those kneecaps up, keep them nice and active. And then walk your hands back so that your fingertips are in line with your toes. And let your head drop down towards the mat. The elbows are squeezing towards one another. The hips are super high. A little bit of weight rocking towards the toes. And that keeps the hips super high. Keep the legs engaged. Feel those outer hips turn on. Walk your hands forward until they're right under your face. Plant the left hand and reach the right arm up. Look up if that feels okay. If you have neck tension, keep your gaze down or to the side. Let your right hand come down. Left arm reaches high. Release that hand down. We're walking the hands over towards the right and bending into the right knee. The left leg becomes long and the toes point up towards the sky. This is Skandasana to the right. So you can hang out here high up on the fingertips. Maybe you test out your balance and bring your palms to touch in front of the heart. And just connect with your breath. Keep the spine long. Release the fingertips towards the mat, walk through center, and then all the way over to the left. Big bend in the left knee, right leg becomes long, the toes peel up. You want to test your balance over here too, go for that. Long spine, reach to the crown of the head. Breathing, breathing, always breathing. Beautiful. Let the hands come back down towards the mat. Walk your way through center, straighten the legs, fold in. Maybe you grab the outside of your ankles this time. Just drop the head down. Very nice. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk your hands all the way back around to the front of your mat, finding that low lunge. Step it back downward facing dog. Pedal it out. Shake out the hips. Shake out the head. Whatever feels good here, do that. Our last pose is going to be a rolling lizard pose. So we're going to inhale the right leg high. Bend your knee and open your hip. Level the hips and step that foot right up between your hands. Then you're going to take your right hand to the inside of your right foot. So both hands are on the inside. And the back leg is long. Kind of peel that knee back a little bit more. This is lizard pose. And rest here for a moment. When you're ready, you're going to walk your hands over to the left. So they're kind of out at a diagonal and you reach them way forward. And we're going to start rolling the hips. The movement comes from pressing that right foot way down into the mat. So all momentum's coming from that right foot, rooting and reaching into the ground. Reverse your circles. Nice. And pause, walk your hands back over towards your right foot, lean forward just a little bit. Maybe let that knee, the front knee fall open for wing dragon. And then draw it back in. Step your foot back to plank. And then downward facing dog. 2 breaths. Inhale the left leg up and back. Bend your knee, open your head. Level the hips and step that foot right up between your hands. From here, the left hand comes to the inside of the right foot, so both hands are in there. Drop your back knee. Walk your hands out to the right and start drawing those big circles. Remember that front foot is stamped way down. And we're just revolving around, opening the front, the back, the sides of the hips and the thighs. And reverse your circles. And pause, walk your hands back over towards your left foot. Draw the hips forward, maybe you let that left knee fall open, so you're resting on the pinky toe edge of your front foot. Draw the knee back up towards the shoulder, tuck your back toes, step back, downward facing dog. Enjoy a couple rounds of breath. And then let your knees come down to the mat. We'll take a butterfly pose. So the soles of the feet touch, the knees go wide. The knees are reaching towards the outer edges of your room, not down to the floor. We're not smashing anything, they're looking for length. Grab your ankles or your feet and round forward. Just curl in. Notice any sensation at the low back, the outer hips, the inner thighs. Settle back in with your breath. This is a good place to find that circular breath again. So the inhale travels over the back of the head, down the spine. The exhale releases up through the front of the body, in and down, out and up. Inhale and sit nice and tall. Draw your knees together like you're closing a book. And we're just going to hug our knees and rock and roll our way onto our back, as long as your back is okay with this. If the rocking does not feel good, just lay down flat. One more rock and roll, and then come down. Keep your knees bent, let your feet rest on the mat. Lift your hips up and settle them down. Hug both knees into the chest. Give a good squeeze. Then extend your left leg long. Draw your right knee all the way across the body, coming into a twist. Right arm comes out to a T. Breathe into the twist, let everything settle. Inhale back through center. Set your right foot down on the mat and then let your knee fall open. So you're in a reclined tree pose. Take your left hand to your left hip. Take your right hand to your right inner thigh. Just give a little pressure here, a little attention and awareness. Let your right knee come back up to the sky, the right foot plants on the ground. Extend your right leg straight up, grab anywhere back behind your right leg that you can reach. Maybe that's the thigh, maybe that's behind the calf. Draw the leg straight back towards the body, take a couple breaths. Let that foot come down. Knees bent, foot's on the mat. Bend your left knee, foot's on the mat, hug the knees in. Keep the left knee hugged in and extend the right. Draw your right leg all the way across the body, supine twist. Left arm comes out to a T. We just release into the twist. So your right arm can be out at a T as well. You can place your right hand on your left thigh if that feels better, just to give a little bit more traction to the twist. Nice even breaths. Make your way back through center, keeping the left knee bent. The left foot finds the mat, and then the left knee falls open to reclined tree pose. Right hand rests on the right hip points. Left hand rests on the left thigh. Awareness to the hips and the legs. Nice, easy breaths. Come back through center. Extend your left leg up to the sky. Grab back behind your left leg anywhere that feels good. With a straight leg, draw it back towards the body. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Beautiful. Let go of that leg. Let it come all the way down to the mat. Lift your right leg up and then reach it away. So the heel is reaching away from the hip, and then set it down. Lift the left leg up, reach the heel away from the hip and set it down. Let your legs fall open. Let your arms rest at your side. We'll take 3 breaths together coming into Shavasana. Breathing in, out, breathing in, out. The last one, big breath in, big breath out. Let everything settle nice and heavy on your mats. Let all the work from the practice integrate into the system. Let the hips be a little more spacious and the body have ease and the breath travels freely. Feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you're able. And when you're done resting in Shavasana, you'll add some wiggle to the fingers and the toes. Take any movements that bring you back into your body, and then roll off to whatever side's feeling more open. And enjoy a couple rounds of breath laying on your side before making your way to seated. Once you arrive in your seat, bring your hands to rest in front of your heart and bow in. Have gratitude for your practice. Have gratitude for your hardworking hips and strong legs. Gratitude for your entire body here to serve you and your spirit. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.